One is June 23rd, Monday night, so 5 p.m. tonight. We're going to do one more live AI session just as a demonstration. We'll be doing one more on Wednesday night, 5 p.m. We'll be doing associates at 5 p.m. and then on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week, the 28th, 29th, 30th, and 1st, we will be doing 4 nights, different topics every night. You can register once, come to all of them. You can register one, come to any of them. You can watch videos of the ones you don't attend afterwards, replays. We will actually be using the RCIC AI Prompt Assistant for the first time, and I will be showing you how to use that, the most dynamic AI tool for real estate investing ever created. The vault, everything's going on. So tonight, let's just real quick, let's just jump right in and let's see real quick. Got a couple people coming on. So, hey Troy, what's up? Hey Troy, what's up? How are you?
Health issues.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, James got shot in the hand on a hunting trip.
He,
Yeah, he got hit. One of his not I forget who shot him, but yeah, he's been healing up. He had a bullet go right through his hand. It's like that's gotta suck. That's gotta hurt. I was like, I hope you put some ice on it. I was fucking with him. Cool. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and we're doing another session on Wednesday night. Then I'm doing the Thursday for associates, and then next weekend I'll be doing 4 separate sessions. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I'll record them so people can watch them after the fact. But then I'll actually be breaking out the actual AI tool, the prompt assistant, so I could show people. Then they can get access to that by this weekend, and everything should be rocking and rolling. Did a lot of work on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and just share a screen. I don't know how many people we're gonna have on. So we may have a couple join us in progress. Otherwise, I know we have about 20 people watching these videos after I make them.
I'm trying to be selective of who I want to bring in because I know there are a lot of flaky people.
Yeah. Well, no, you can use your gift links on the best part is that gift link that I set up where I said everybody can bring people in. That's like tier one. That's like some very basic stuff. It's not really going to get advanced. If they want to upgrade after that, then it's on their choice. And like I said, then I'll split it. If they upgrade and they go to like a lifetime plan, I'll throw everybody like $180. So I'll split that 50-50 after the 5% processing fee that Patreon and all that chooses. They got a lot of good stuff going on, even since probably the last time you saw what I was doing like a week or two ago. I mean, I'm going to hit 450 hours in this by the end of the month. I expect to have 1,500 hours in this by the end of the year. It's just really phenomenal. So I'm going to go ahead real quick, jump in real quick, do the little intro, and then yeah, if you have questions or something, if you want to see what's going on, I don't have I just put in some of the skip tracing stuff, and I put out that little schedule that of what's going to happen over the next 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days, and then 180 days. It's going to be phenomenal because I'm putting in all these resources and all that. Yeah, and be selective as you want. You know the people, um, that you work with if you want to bring them in and all that stuff. The only thing is like I'll talk about like the embedding that I'm doing like with Jay Holder and I can do with you and all that stuff too, all the lenders. When I do the enhanced embedding, I do have to make sure that people are solid because enhanced embedding, I will not likely be able to get them 100% out of it. There's no way to like, well, where I could like I ban somebody, I may not be able to get them 100% out of the AI. That's how deep it puts them. So it's pretty cool. Like Jay comes up pretty easily now. And so I'll kind of show the tiles and all that stuff. Like, and I'll send you the tile prompt this week so you can do yours, and then you just fill it out and then send it to me. And then I'll make I'll show the tile in a minute. Zeke's coming on real quick, so let me get Zeke on, and then I'll go to AI. I'm not going to go too much longer, probably maybe 20 minutes. Just want to show a few things unless you guys have questions. I think Zeke's trying to get on. Cool. Hey Zeke, are you on? Cool. See if we can- Hey Zeke, what's going on, dude? Hey, what's
Much.
up? How are
Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit. I'm just gonna show probably 15, 20
Good.
minutes. I was just talking to Troy before you got on, and then I can touch base with you on the other thing on tonight or tomorrow. Let me know what you want me to do on that letter. So we can talk about that later tomorrow. I was telling Troy I'm gonna go ahead and show a few more things that I'm doing. Each of these sessions that I've been
Okay.
doing, I've been kind of just, you know, showing a little bit what I've been doing. More on the AI, and then we'll do associates on Thursday night, and I'll show the associates how to access the AI prompt bar. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week, I'm going to be doing 4 sessions on the AI prompt assistant. So I'm just going to jump right in real quick, and then if you guys have questions, I don't think I'm going to go. What is it? 5:06. I'm not going to go more than 5:30, probably 20, 25 minutes, unless we get some people on. Or you guys have some questions or something, like I'll bring up, I can bring up Wyoming and show you what kind of resources I've built for Wyoming and stuff like that. And then because I made sure I put local prompts, and then Troy, if you got any questions or anything you want me to check, then let me know too. I can do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and go right to it. Okay, you guys can see this. That's cool. Um, so you guys see, if you see over on the left where I have my cursor, RCIC Prompt Assistant, it is fully functional. I do got to do one more thing to make it there's a permanent thing with that tiny URL, those bit.ly things, where now that I basically had my website that I've had since 2018, I basically tied that privatemoneyauthority.com to it. So because tiny URL and bit.ly, because OpenAI and ChatGPT is session based, they expire, some of those links, like in 24 hours. So in order to make them permanent, so I had to go back and do that after I built all this. So they're fully functional now. Like I said, next weekend, starting on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we'll actually be in this prompt assistant. I'm not going to be there tonight. Let me let its notes here. Okay, we are for the live session. Uh, it'll take a second. There you go. So you can tell, see, I'm doing a lot of stuff tonight. Strategic 30, 60, 90, 180 embedding plan. So this is kind of cool. I'm not going to read a whole lot of it. I'm going to basically let you guys see it if you guys don't have any questions. But part one's talking about there's some compliance issues. SB Senate Bill 1075 is in Oklahoma. So it's very restrictive wholesaling bill. So I put some resources together this morning for not only Oklahoma, for people ahead of November 1 when that law takes effect, but probably about 10 other states where we've actually put a lot of prompts in there so people can go in and say they want to make their wholesaling contract or their A to B or their B to C compliant with Oklahoma. There's some different laws, and almost every state that has these has some weird, they're almost different. So we also talk about opportunity zones and capital adaptation windows. And then RCIC is the National Compliance and Resource Clearinghouse. I put a lot of resources together for wholesalers to become, and people, generally real estate investors, to become compliant. Not going to go a whole lot of that tonight, but tomorrow I'll start rolling that out. And so we got wholesaler. This is the next 30 days. So between really now and end of July, I mean, we'll actually go, it was targeted to go to July 22nd, but end of July, really, wholesaler and lender onboarding with enhanced embedding. And then they can update buy boxes. People will be able to put their buy boxes in their lending parameters. Lenders will be able to see what their lending, their qualifications are. So Troy, if you got like your clients and stuff like that, you can put it in with your tile and all that stuff, what your basic requirements are. And then people, wholesalers and buyers and everybody can all put their buy boxes in. The difference is there's enhanced embedding and there's standard embedding. All associates will get it enhanced. Anybody that comes in there's different plans. Enhanced, like I was telling Troy earlier, Zeke, we have to make sure we have everybody that's vetted that's in enhanced, because like it's going to be hard to actually get them out of the AI, meaning that they're actually in there. I'll talk about the tiles and the teasers. Prompt bar integration. So like I said, this is the prompt assistant. There's also a couple of bars, a prompt suggestion bar for suggesting prompts, and there's also a prompt request. So that's for people, goes through Google Forms. It'll also go to Airtable at the end of July, which is automated in AI. and it'll actually go to us, and that way people can do it manually if for some reason they don't have access to, if they can do it on their phone, or they don't have access to AI or to like a laptop or something like that. So people can still do it. It's kind of manual mode. The 60-day targets, I'm putting in local and state law compliance prompts per region. So if you come in and say you want, what's Texas require for wholesaling or short-term rentals, we're going to have all that. I'm also going to be reaching out, bringing attorneys on, so attorneys will be available. People, and they'll have different things. They may just put some stuff in there that they give me. They may also do some like consulting, or do a free consultation or something, or a phone call, or have some kind of a form or something that they can generate. And we may make it standard. I want to try to make everything we have in here standard, so people get used to it. And then we're going to embed the verified investor profiles with backend filters, and do the VA and research assistant tools. So it'll actually do a lot of the VA stuff. There's going to be some pretty cool stuff. Uh, so it's pretty good. It gets in 180 days. We're going to do every U.S. state represented in compliance embeds. We're not just going to do, I'm not just putting in the states that have restrictions. I'm actually putting in all 50 states. I'm going through all the real estate commissions right now. These are overnight projects. So I can sit there and I can target them and say, I'd like to have this done overnight. Can you give me these 10 states? And it'll actually give me, it'll do the work at night. Basically, when I wake up in the morning, I will let it know and it'll let me know if it's done with it. And then I can basically put it into the vault. There's not going to be a lot of stuff coming out of the vault. The vault is basically embedded with the prompt assistant. And right now I'm using Dropbox, and then I'll be building Airtable. So then Dropbox, which is everything now, will be the backup. It'll actually auto-populate the Airtable, which is AI. So that's a good thing. And then it'll be much faster. It'll be AI based. And then if anybody gets their own Airtable, you can do a link to it. Then, like I said, Dropbox will have redundancy. It'll have the backup. So it's kind of like backing up your computer, or backing up, things like, pretty sweet. Tier 4, which is pretty much all the associates and everybody who's in Tier 4. Lifetime investors will be fully capitalized with automation. And then we're going to have AI to capital chain prompts to lender, deal, and dashboard. I'm building, it's going to be a dashboard everybody's going to have access to through the prompt assistant. And they'll have all the prompts. They'll have the initial prompts, about 20 sets of prompts that'll go into probably 250, 300 more sets of prompts. And the prompts could be in those prompt batches, it could be anywhere from 5 to 10 prompts. And so I do have Wyoming prompts and all that stuff to Zeke. So it actually helps you with like, can you find, I'm not going to give you the specific words, but if you just put it in general search and you ask anything, then it'll come up with the prompt, the actually correct one. And then you can just save as, right click, copy and paste. And you can it gives you the more, and it might give you choice of 5 different versions of the prompt. So you could ask for, you know, here's this property in Casper or Sheridan or Cheyenne. And then you can start starting accessing county records, the title. You can do all kinds of public records. You'll be able to do public records stuff. And I'm not going to say that I don't expect anytime soon that title companies and appraisers and all that, and even some lenders will start accepting stuff out of AI, but it'll help in the initial process of doing deal analysis and underwriting and making offers. It'll just get better, and as more people use it, it'll be better. Once I get to these, I'll ask it a couple of questions, and then if you guys have anything, I'll try to make sure what we got. Mission execution tools, the prompt assistant launch queue. We'll have all the state filters. It'll be, like I said, right here in the RCIC Prompt Assistant. There'll be a visual resource vault. There's going to be posters, campaign tiles, all the compliance stuff. This is going heavy into the wholesaling stuff today, just because I was working on that this morning. So tonight's a little bit more wholesaling and compliance oriented than I wanted. So Wednesday night I'll be doing a little bit more stuff. It's just really going to crack down. A couple of states got really nasty. It's what their new wholesaling regulations are. And you guys don't even want to know what Colorado's probably going to do next year if things don't change. So there's going to be a lot of good stuff. RCI's live onboarding, and then the embed form update and vault placement. I'm going to be doing a lot of that this weekend, so don't worry about if you kind of get behind a little bit, if you don't understand what's going on. there'll also be some guides that you can read through, and everything has a guide. Everything that's in the RCI, the prompt will actually have a guide and a use case. It'll walk you through it. So it's pretty simple. And then like a wholesale territory and experience, a lender's capitalization range. So let's go ahead and real quick. Um, I'll I'm gonna write a couple of general questions, and then if you guys have questions, I'll search for you guys. How is important input user input? This is critical. It's not optional. So the intelligence is fed. So user input fuels the engine. So it's precision targeting. It's market-based relevance. So buy boxes, capital parameters, local laws. So when you guys come to it, you got to put in what you want, and you got to put in the information you want, and you kind of got to prompt it. The prompts are going to be there for you. It's almost like fill in the blanks. So it could be like, some of the prompts may come up in this, so I won't get too detailed because, like I said, you can put a generic question in the ask anything box, and then it'll come up with the actual prompt, or like I said, sometimes 5 prompts. So you can put them in there, and then you can put in, like, if you're doing a property, you can put in the property, you can put in the zip code, and you can put in the parcel number if you already have the parcel, the property ID. You can put those in there and do searches. You can search. You can reach out with you could hit Zillow, Redfin, and all those sites at one time, and which is a good way to get a comparison. But you can also do a lot of, like, there's the thing now, you can hit Google Earth. So you got to have an account with Google Earth, but you have to put your account stuff in it. But it'll actually pull images and stuff. Pretty cool. So without investor data, this just becomes another prompt tool. So everything's designed about people putting the information in there, asking the questions, what do you want in that session? What do you want? The input, the input you put in helps generate far better output. State-specific compliance, it's got all the local lead gen filters, territories, assets, all that stuff. So a tier 4 wholesaler in Texas gets different support than a new lender in Vermont. So like I said, it just depends. I mean, and the more people that use this, the more people will get subscribers and stuff, it'll actually get better and better. I mean, it'd be nice to have people in every state, and then people are feeding in information, and then and then it saves that information. So the more people that do deals in Texas will keep saving those deals, and it's gonna get smarter and smarter and more accurate. Uh, Give me a sec. Oh, I'd check a message. So you get funding and deal flow matching. The matching engine is we're putting the matching engine in July. That'll be part of the 60-day plan, not the 30-day plan, but it'll be lenders, closers, operators based on what you submitted. No profile, no match, lost velocity. That's what it says. So all the enhanced lenders and wholesalers and people and associates and all that will have tiles. Will pop up. It'll be like, you got somebody post a couple days ago. I posted one. They can have their picture on it. You can have a logo, have contact information, and we can actually even put a set that says, "Hey, we've closed 17 deals in the last 2 months." There's a tracker. It only really helps with deals that it's actually done in this system. So that way we can it can actually actively through Air Tracker track deals. And then so people know that everything's legitimate. And that's why I said we have to be careful on who gets enhanced embedding. Like you were saying, Troy, earlier, your people, if you don't think somebody can just do standard embedding and we don't have to worry about it too much. All those lenders I put in the 2,683 that we've pared it down to, they're all pretty much standard embedding. Means they'll come up, like if you ask for 5 lenders that can do this deal, 5 will come up from that list. They're all verified and vetted, but the enhanced embedding will be people that are like in our group or people that subscribe that we can actually go through and verify. They'll get enhanced embedding. So the tile will come up, and then eventually there'll be an opt-in where people can actually, the AI will actually send the deal to them. There's a process with that. So we can't shield you from bad actors or compliance traps unless we know where you operate and what role you're playing. So your intel builds the firewall. So there's a lot of good stuff. So you want to think about it like being an F-35, or obviously after this weekend a B-2. Without user input, it's an expensive paperweight. So with embedded flight data, targets, coordinates, and mission briefs, it's an air superiority platform. So if you're not submitting your deals in RCIC, you're not in the game, you're in the stands. So we can put in buy box lending criteria or market focus embedded now. I'm gonna check real quick. What resources can we embed and prompts for Wyoming? Get our out. Actually, it does a remarkable job when you even put a typo in. There you go. Low regulation, land friendly policy, and asset protection laws. So we got the so we'll put in state specific wholesaler and investor compliance. I don't know why that did that. Let me go back and see real quick. It may actually, oh yeah, it switched. Sorry. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I just switched over real quick. So sorry. Sometimes it does that. Like you'll like sit there, it'll trigger one of these other chats that I've been working in. Because lately I've been like, there's your demand letter there, Zeke, on the left. Um, so I usually try to save it in a specific chat so I can return to what I was working on. Sometimes I'm working on two or three, and like I was saying earlier, if I'd ask it to do an overnight mission, overnight research project for me, then I can still work in another chat while it's doing that. So what are the wholesaling laws in Wyoming? Embed county by county, conduct assignment language, non-licensure state, but buyer disclosure can be embedded. Add suggested disclosure plus JV structuring. So it gets into all this stuff. You can actually go through and do county filters for Laramie, Natrona, Sweetwater, Campbell, Park, Albany. You can put all that stuff, LLC and trust structure. Form anonymous Wyoming LLC, the best state in the world, the best state ever to do that. Register agent prompts and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. Jackson Hole obviously has probably some pretty stricter short-term rental laws. Local capital and lending source, there's all kinds of prompts. So I'm gonna go ahead and have it create and well, asset classes, strategies, and compliance. So you should be nice and set up, Zeke, when you get your tool going. I'll get that for you this weekend when I get everybody's done. Everybody has the same one, but it's just trying to get everybody on there so I can show people how to use that one. So there you go. I'm putting all the prompts in there. And I'll do a couple more things. Like I said, I don't plan on going more than about another 10, 15 minutes. It takes a minute sometimes to think. So here you go. It starts going into these prompts. So it's got a lot I can show you. It's probably done. Yeah, this may do. Let's see how many it's going to do. It's doing over 100. Size 154 prompts. Okay. So now here's what it's doing. If you guys haven't seen this before, it's asking me for two responses. So sometimes there's a new version of Chat GPT. You can see up here where it says by you are screen sharing. Sometimes it'll change between 3 or 4 models. Sometimes if you're doing more research, it'll change to the research model. if you don't want visuals, it'll add the visual functions because I have the paid. So I have to kind of go in here and here I go. It's going to basically give you all the deployment options. And I have to choose which one I want, which response. Yes. All counties. All 23. So there are 23, Zeke. 23 counties. That's what it says. I don't know. There's 65, 4 and 5 in Colorado. So here you go. Here's all your, I just embedded every county. And so by the time we're done, by the time probably pretty soon, I'm going to have every county and state in the United States embedded. So you'll have all these records so people can actually go and do this. Put in workflows. If necessary, complete overnight. So I'm building in Wyoming. So everything's going to be in there with Zeke. You're going to have everything access all 23 counties. It'll even have the names sometimes. There you go. There's phone numbers. You won't have to ever look up stuff. You can just come onto your AI tool and go, hey, I'm doing this address, and you can pull up all the triggers and all the prompts for that. So you got the clerk contact sheet. You got all the email templates. So it's all going to be done by 8:15 in the morning. Okay. Yes. Um, So I'm gonna do this for all 50 states. There you go. So it'll be able to pull deed. You'll be able to check for liens, title flags. It might have helped when you had that product. You had that property you were looking at a couple months ago. When you had to call that sheriff about. So it's gonna have all this stuff: pre-written email request templates. Everything's in there for Wyoming. By 8:15 tomorrow, you'll be So I'm building a lot. I'm actually building stuff in this session for once before I've been showing it, but you guys are, and then I'll do some stuff for you, Troy. So if you need some stuff you want out there. And then you got to send me your, I'll send you the prompt for becoming embedded this week when I have it ready, but I need to check the link. So here you go. All this stuff is being built right now. Cool. Yes. You can actually check red flag warnings and bounce checks and all that stuff now. So like I said, we're going to be able to do this for all 50 states by the end of July. So it's going to do overnight. It's going to do the red flag logic, EMD red flag, vault updated with the EMD risk toolkit, live system test at 8 tomorrow. Yes. Yes. And I put in a lot of stuff, the whistleblower stuff, prop bar additions, data handling, overnight execution plan. Bye. So I'm going, guys. By July 31st, we'll have compliance. We'll have every county, every tax assessor, every place you could go for real estate information, public records wise, across the whole country. So Wyoming, we'll get Texas, Florida, California, and then all states. County clerk workflows, recording plus public records, red flag triggers, ledger line and prompt bars, automation, vault tools. So here you go in all the other states. So I put a schedule together. 3,143 counties. Yes. And we will have 2 to 3 more questions and then complete. Okay. So it's Troy, since you're a connector, I haven't done a whole lot with connectors yet. I've talked a little bit about it, but I'm gonna put in some stuff for connectors. Okay. Mm, mm, okay. So here we go. We're gonna put connectors and private money brokers. And like I said, Troy, I'll get the prompt bar that you fill out your information on at the end of this week, and then you can submit it. And like I said, I'll show you Jay in a minute, and then you'll be like, Jay, you'll come up anytime people are looking for, if they can't find like a lender, they can actually then contact and you can pretty much tell me how to do it at that point, how you want to do it. But here you go. You can put in all the match prompts, connect your ledger, referral agreement generator, submit funding scenarios, all the private money broker embeds, calculators, point calculators, and all that stuff. So we're building all those additions for you guys live. Yes, so there you go. So here I go, point system. So everything we do too is we have a point system. So like a general thing is people that are successful that are submitting deals and putting deals that'll get points, and that means they'll actually be able to be on the leaderboard. It'll actually track that. It'll say that so and so is a capital connector who's done 80 deals and has 2,000 points. The next person has 1,500. That gives some validity to credibility and reputation. So I designed it so that people who are using the system will get rewarded and come up at the top of every search. Okay. Or EMD or gap funding. Actually, I'm going to put in here because we have a few of those. Or let's see. Or Novations. Who do we recommend? So when you talk about Morby method, or you talk about Novations, it's all in here. Draft a state compliant novation agreement for a flip in Georgia using a hard money lender and listing it to realtor. Mm. Oh, I'll just ask quick directly. Here you go, Jay Holder. So Jay is like done 2,000 deals. I don't know if you know him, Troy. That's actually not his picture. I I did one the other day, and it was Philip from our group because I put Philip in to unvet him, and it had Philip's picture on Jay's bio. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I know who Jay is. I've talked to him before.
Yeah, he's kind of becoming kind of like our because we had an issue with our previous TC, and Jay's done almost 2,000 deals with his company, Finish Line, and then he's lent a lot of EMD and Gap out of his own funds. So he's basically, like I said, coming in to be kind of our first really embed, and then Philip Sparks is a connector like you. So you and Philip. So once you get me your stuff, so here's a letter. It just writes to me. You could actually do this yourself. So if you're coming and looking for Jay, it'll actually give you yourself. You can put your title, your company, and all that stuff in your bio. It'll make it right away. And then you can make an email or you can make something. Here you go. Put my phone number, all my information, my Patreon, my website, all that. And then it's got, you know, yeah. So I mean, like I said, this is all the work. So by the end of June, like I said, I'll have about 450 hours, probably by the end of the year, 1500. We got that 30, 60, 90, and 100-day plan. And then you guys just saw me. I'm basically just going to embed everything for all 50 states by July 31st. So anybody comes in, if you want to find, if you're doing a deal in Alabama and you've never been to Alabama, you can find the county or the whatever to go in Parish in Louisiana. You can go and find where you need to go for to get all your title searches and all that stuff. Pretty cool. So here you go. Here's they can do these offers. So I'll probably ask it any more questions. I mean, like I said, another thing is let me see what's okay, we're gonna be doing the here's the visual tile. It's gonna be wrong, so I'm not gonna basically private oh, private. I misspelled it. So I just built it. I have to do this anyway, but I'm gonna show tonight we want to one more thing is this weekends will feature here you guys go. Here's the series. So Saturday we're going to investor workflows and prompt efficiency, live walkthroughs. We're going to get into the creative finance. So I'm going to show this tool that I have over here that I showed you guys, the prompt assistant, and actually then you'll have access to yours, and I'll give you the link, and you can go in and add it to if you already have Chat GPT, you can add it. If you don't, you'll have it, but then you can use the Google form, which is like I said, more manual mode. It just goes to me and it'll actually go into AI. Once it goes to Airtable will actually do it and trigger it in here and it'll send you the responses. It won't be like here, you'll have to go in and put some prompts in, but it'll come back with what you need, manual mode through Google Forms. So we're actually doing this pretty good. Morning. Morning build. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. If you guys have any questions. Um, yeah. So I hope you guys, seen a lot since the last time you guys saw this a couple weeks ago. Zeke, what'd you think?
Confusing.
I know, but
There's a lot there.
it's a lot. But I'm like saying I'll gauge you on the prompt assistant if you don't have that, if you don't have like AI, because you can get the free version. You don't need the paid version. Now the free version doesn't do as good on like visuals and stuff. It hardly does. It's very limited that way. But you can do everything with the prompt assistant. That's why it's designed that way. So you're able to do everything. If you can't do it, then it's just like a Google form. It has the questions. It walks you through. You fill it out, you press send, it actually comes to me. Eventually I'll have prompt moderators, just people that I know that I can give access to add it. So that's when we are talking about the guides a year ago. That's kind of not what's going to happen. This is really the ecosystem I've been talking about for a while, and that whole system where we're going to have guides. And I started playing around in March and April. We're still doing Agents Together. We're doing all the courses there. I'm going to put all the courses there, but they'll also be in here. We have all the asset class books here, all the Z books I was doing in April and May. Some are, white papers, 5 to 10 pages. Asset class kits are like 20 to 70 pages. They have a lot of charts. They have a lot of forms. All those 150 forms plus that I had on in the files tab, I've put them in here. and I've embedded them into the vault. The vault is huge. It's using Dropbox. We'll use Airtable. Will be the backup. And in July, I'm going to be building the Airtable. It's going to take me the whole month of the, and Airtable is free. I've said that before. So there is a paid version. Eventually, I'll have to go to the paid version, but you guys will never probably have to go there. So, like I said, it's a lot, but it's everything's there. You're going to be able to, within the next 30 to 60, 90 days, you're going to be able to do skip tracing, comps, deal analysis, all your underwriting, put your deal structure together, your capital stack together, and match it to your lenders. And then you'll be able to get all the process, do all the research and everything. And the only two things I'm really going to not be able to do is any kind of really, nobody can do national MLS because there's no national MLS. There's 600 separate MLSs, something like that. And then also on scope of work, maybe out as far as pricing goes. People will put all their contacts together and their contractor agreements and put their scope of work schedule together and put their their list, their schedule from permit to staging. But getting the pricing for we can tap into HomeWise and use that as a reference, but it's not always 100% accurate. It comes down to like almost having prompts for, hey, you're adding how many linear feet of granite countertop, things like that. So those are the two areas we're going to be weak on for a while, probably 6 months to a year until because I'm going to basically at some point I'm going to do API and I'll have to subscribe to that. And there's some API where you get it for yourself, but you can't share it. So I'm looking for what I can actually get and then I can give to you guys. That's kind of the direction we're going right now. So like I said, I'm going to help you. And Thursday nights are still going to be associate nights. So we'll still be doing a lot of this stuff in manual because I know a lot of people are going to need this. It's going to take a good 6 months to a year, maybe a year and a half tops to get everybody. I'm telling people embrace AI because it's going that way. I know a couple people in our group. I know like Jim Ingersoll's group is going to AI a lot. And I know Natalie from our group, Natalie in Virginia, she and her partner Lydia are doing the wholesaling and they're doing some AI stuff now. It's just, I think it's faster. Like you can pull up an address and you can pull up 10 different sources right then and there that you don't have to go and manually search through Google and then you can compare it and they can build a chart instantly. So those demand letters I did for you, Zeke, I just basically took those 3 emails you sent me, those 3 attachments, and I fed them in. Within 10 seconds, it had read all of them, and it gave me what I need. Then I did this. So I probably did that under 2 minutes to get those back to you. So, like I said, it's that good. If you start writing documents and stuff, it's faster than you. And I have tied in, like I said, with all the 50 states. We've also put all the real estate commissions in there. So you can go and you can pull up data from Colorado or Texas or California and New York, and you can pull up all that data. And I've talked to attorneys, and like I said, once revenue starts coming in, I'll be able to actually probably retain a couple of attorneys. They'll be able to offer part of their deal is they'll be able to offer people like at least a phone call or at least some kind of like a form, a AI generated form or a Google generated form to, where they could put some, limited information to help you at least send somebody in a direction legal wise. Because like I said, we have to do the disclaimers and then we'll also be looking at some legal shield expansion. There's a possibility that later on with people coming on in the membership that I think there's enterprise level. And if I get enterprise level, I can actually bring people into my organization and cover them through my account, which would be huge. So we'll figure that out. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So cool. I appreciate you guys' time. Like I said, we'll be doing this again Wednesday night and then Thursday for the associate session. I know, Troy, you said you're not available, but I have these recordings. So if you guys want to watch something you've missed, then they're always available. And then, like I said, associates will be Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I have the schedule for the 4 sessions, and I'll make videos of those. And I'll be doing this. It's a little different when I'm by myself. Like I always want people coming on. Like I want these sessions going 3 hours. I want these Thursday nights we've been doing. Give me an hour on recording. Give me 2 hours off recording. I don't know. It's like people just, I don't know. I think some people are just burned. I think that sometimes it's summer. We tend to have a little bit lower people coming to the Zooms on during the summer. I think that happened last summer too. So, but I'm pretty excited. I think this is going to be awesome. And you guys are covered, you don't have to worry about. So I'll make sure you got the assets and Zeke, I'll work with you and help you get comfortable with it. like I said, just do as much as user input. It's not going to do anything advanced that you don't want it to do. You control it. So I just have to get you comfortable if you decide you want to, if you want to go in an AI and you can do it as slow or as your to your comfort level. If you just want to keep it basic and, develop your skill sets with it, it's gonna happen because I've made it easy. And it gives you all the prompts and it gives you the use case. So it actually explains. If you ask for the prompts with the use case, it'll actually explain it. And it'll tell you so you can make the right decision when you put the prompt in. And like I said, there's almost 2,500 prompts right now. I anticipate being about 10,000 prompts by the end of the year. That should cover, and that includes all 50 states. I mean, that's going to be a lot of prompts because those are, here doing multifamily in New York. And now New York is becoming very restrictive. Obviously a lot of states, certain political parties are. Colorado's going to be extremely restrictive, probably even worse than this Oklahoma one. And I have kind of a heads up having my brother be in the legislature. My brother was a Republican. He switched over to Democrat but he's like that 50-50 right in the middle. And he doesn't like it coming up because there's some real like socialists that just hate landlords and hate real estate speculation. So I just give you guys everybody a heads up. I actually know who the 10, I know them a little bit through my brother, so I know who the people are to lobby to blow, so cool. All right, well, I'm not going to go too much longer. Just so you guys, like I said, Wednesday, Thursday is associates, and then the weekend. By next week, everybody should start having access to the prompt. It'll be in the Patreon as well. In the for the RCIC there's a tier, and there'll be a lot of support. A lot of the prompts will be in there. There'll be access to the prompt library and there'll be tutorials and all that. I'll put them in. I set up a separate group, separate from associates, only because I know there's some associates that probably aren't going to come over, that aren't going to do this. So, but it's 100% freedom, so I don't know why they wouldn't, but until they get comfortable. So there is a separate group. Like I was saying the other day, I asked Jesse, how many Facebook groups do you think I have? Because I have some that aren't even for real estate. I think I have like 70. Well, because I'm also setting up one for like all those areas like Wyoming. I set two or I think three in Colorado. Because I got Colorado Springs, I got the Denver, I got the Western Slope for Bill. I haven't done a Northern Slope because I was actually going to see if you wanted part of that because obviously, Fort Collins and Greeley and all that are closer to you than they are to me. But it's trying to set up about 50 of those and then going about 200 small, which I don't want to run. Those other 50, I have to be an admin, but I'm having them across the country. We got like Stan's got Spokane, where Laura's in Seattle. She's on the other side of Washington. Bill Danagelis has San Francisco. He's in Northern California. Jesse has Massachusetts, things like that. MJ has Houston. So it's a pretty good deal. I think that way we start getting some local, you know, so it's cool. All right, I'm gonna basically bail and process this video and get it up, and then I'll see you guys either Wednesday if you're on. If not, I'll see you Thursday or whenever I see you next. Zeke, let me know what you want me to do on that letter, and then let me know tonight or tomorrow. You can email me or I'll finish it off for you, whatever you decide.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't want to talk about it on the video. So, but yeah, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. So I
Okay.
can get that done. I can get that done probably by 9 or 10
No.
tomorrow morning. Okay, cool. I'll see you guys later. Thanks, Trey. Thanks, Zeke.